Hi everybody, this is John Ott from Sports Day in the D. I'm just doing a little bit of Destiny beta overview. If you want to get in at me at Sports Day in the D, it is shoutengine.com/sportsdayinthed, yourlisten.com/tbugunslinger, at Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/tbugunslinger, at Twitter, at John Ryan Ott. Let me know what you think of this Destiny beta, the gameplay that you're watching live right now, and the overview. As far as the overview goes, I think we'll just talk about it like this. I'll talk a little bit about the character classes as you're watching some of the gameplay and some of the things that I've noticed from playing the online multiplayer and everything else. So the three character classes and what this game is. Pretty much this game is like Halo and it's like Borderlands. It's from the makers of Halo and Call of Duty, Bungie and Activision. They come together to bring you a first-person shooter that has an RPG slash MMO type feel to it with some online multiplayer mixed in. It's a pretty good package. As far as the three characters that you have a Titan, a Hunter, and a Warlock. Pretty much in the standard RPG fare, the Titan is going to be the barbarian of the group. The Titan is going to be the damage dealer that goes in guns a-blazing and is not afraid to get the job done. The Warlock is going to be the mage, the one that's going to deal damage from afar, shoot out fireballs and other things in spectacular fashion that light up the scoreboard and light up the screen. And the Hunter, the class that you see me playing with in the beta, is an archer pretty much in the RPG sense. Get everything done from far away, be the support that lets the Titan and everybody mop everything else up. What sets Destiny apart from other first-person shooters, in my opinion, is the fact that you can supercharge. The supercharge, the white bar that you see just above the HUD right now as I'm shooting some of these enemies, that's going to fill up and turn gold, which allows you to execute a supercharge. Supercharge is unique to all three characters that are in there. If you're the Titan, if you're the damage dealer, you use what's called the Fist of Havoc. That lets you jump in the air and pound the ground and shoot out lightning to attack a bunch of enemies around you. The Warlock shoots two magic balls in the air that blow up the enemies around you. And the Hunter, you'll see me use the supercharge throughout this commentary here. It's not the most spectacular thing in the world, but it does get the job done very effectively. A golden pistol comes out, the golden gun, pretty much like James Bond. You kill anything in one shot, you get 3 shots, and you make the most of it and get the job done. So the supercharge allows you just to execute a massive amount of damage in a single go. The thing that sets this game apart between other RPGs and the first-person shooters is the mix of Halo, and honestly, for me, I'm not the greatest at first-person shooters. I'm not even really a Halo fan, but you take this mold of Halo, which is pretty good in here, you take the mix of Borderlands, which is pretty good in here, you get the loot system and all of that, and the monotony that was Borderlands sometimes, it goes away in Destiny, and it's really well done. You can have a group of 3 when you're doing missions, for whether it be story or strike or other stuff like that, or you can have more when you're playing Crucible, which is the online multiplayer. So talk a little bit about the characters and a little bit about the gameplay that you're seeing. Let's talk a little bit about the beta itself. The beta consists of 5 story missions, a strike, and the online multiplayer. The strike is pretty much where you're going to go ahead and play up against a few mini bosses and get the job done, try to survive at the end of the level with teamwork and strategy and all that, and make sure you guys don't die. Throughout some of the missions in the story, there's going to be public events. That's something else that's different in Destiny. The public events allow you to participate in real time with other participants while you're in your mission, which I think is really cool. That sets Destiny apart too. These public events is just taking out a bunch of enemies before they get to a waypoint, or taking out just this big boss that was in the area before it gets to the waypoint. It's really cool stuff. I like the public events. I like some of the other strikes. It really makes this game a lot different. And the RPG aspect, to be able to build your character and the class the way that you want to. Your class does define a lot of the stats and some of the things you can do, but there are tweaks to really make it your own. And there's a gamble of that, which we'll talk at the end. The online multiplayer that's in the beta, it's called the Crucible. And pretty much in the beta, all you really get is domination mode. You're pretty much capturing the flag and trying to take out as many enemies as possible. You've seen throughout this gameplay so far that I was using a scout rifle. It's kind of like a sniper rifle, pretty similar to it. I have to switch to the auto rifle here though because there's going to be some enemies coming in and I got to get more damage in close. Destiny does a good job. There's not a lot of different guns to use, maybe one of my pet peeves so far, but it does do a good job of forcing you to mix up your strategies in the gameplay, so you can't just go ahead and use one gun for an entire situation. It's a nice balance, and the weapons have a nice feel to them. You got the auto rifles, which is what I'm going to be using after the snipe right now, the scout rifle, which I've been using, and then the fusion rifle, a pulse rifle for your main weapons. Your secondaries, you have some pretty cool stuff. You got snipers, you got shotguns, you got another type of pulse rifle that just charges and shoots, and then the heavies that we've seen in the beta were rocket launchers and machine guns. Those are the purple ammo boxes that you don't get a lot of. You got to be very aware of when you use those. So, a couple things that may be pet peeves for me in this beta is when you're checking a map screen with the touchpad. The touchpad works very well in terms of being able to go from area to area when you're exploring. But when you're trying to run, you get to the next part of the map, every time you click the touchpad it puts you back into a walking state. It's kind of annoying. It's one of the things you think you could fix. And when you're playing the online multiplayer, I know there's only these couple maps, there's only 2 maps, so you really don't get a chance to see everything or test everything out. But if you're an MLG type player at a first person shooter, if you're a Call of Duty just unbelievable guy at that, then you might be upset at some of these guys and then they kill you with these supercharges. You may think that's a little bit of a flawed system. It's not, you don't really get them a lot unless you continue to kill, and if you continue to get a lot of those, then quite frankly a supercharge, you just got to be able to live with it sometimes. So the players that may not be as good, this game is very welcoming to new first person shooter players, I would say. The supercharge allows you to just have more fun with it from time to time, and it's very more welcoming to you. So if you're kind of nervous of playing a first-person shooter and you don't really feel that good, will find a place in here in the beta, and it will work out pretty well for you, I would say. It's a safe bet. Whether or not you're going to go ahead and play as much of multiplayer, I'm going to be more of a story guy myself and know my role. I'm going to dwell into the multiplayer quite a bit, but I'm going to main the story stuff and try to build your characters around. The one thing I will say, even though it's a beta, I really want to get this in here. The 3 character classes, I played the alpha and the beta. The difference between either one of those is not a lot. The game is probably the prettiest game you've seen on next gen systems so far, and that's saying something. I know there's not a lot of games out there, but this game looks like a next gen game, and it's very good there. The difference between the two is not too much, but the game itself is very good. Whether or not you're going to put all that money in the multiplayer, it's not so certain, but the fact that you can only go up to level 8 kind of scares me a little bit in terms of that, because when you're looking at the rest of the character classes, you can't try to build a character class off of a beta. You're only going to 8, so you can't really test out everything else that's in there. I know it's early and all of that, but if you're really trying to look for what to build next, I don't think the beta carries over, and you're going to have to start from scratch. So I would say just experiment as much as you can. As this video comes to a close, and I try to get a little bit of everything in here, I don't want to make the video too long. We're going to talk about a little bit more about it in depth on Sports Day in the D. I'm going to go in here and show you right now just some of the character classes that define the hunter. Everybody's got 2 different classes. You can only go to level 8, so you're only going to see 1. The second one's unlocked at 15, and I think there might be a spot for a 3rd one. So that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how the multiplayer will change as that stuff goes along. I hope you guys enjoy this look at the Destiny beta and a brief overview that I provide for. Hope I can get enough in here in this 10-minute time just to give you a little taste of it. Sports Day in the D, going to cover this a little bit more, so stick with me. Shoutengine.com/sportsinthed. I'll be uploading a new show pretty soon. After this stuff is edited, I'll get that up on the weekend. Got some Detroit sports. We're going to be talking beta news and just a lot of the stuff upcoming next week for the PS4. So look forward to that, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. And have a good day. I will talk to you guys soon. This is the Destiny beta. Hope you enjoy. Peace out, guys.